Okay, hello and welcome to day one of the Will Taylor Chess Christmas calendar for 2025. It is the 1st of December on which I will release this video. I've made a festive Christmas tree on the left here, of course, that you can feast your eyes on while I explain what's going on here. For last year's Christmas calendar, we did 3 lots of 3-0 Blitz games every single day, a little Blitzmas special, you might say. But I ran a poll in the community posts of the channel, and rather overwhelmingly, the Rapid Chess option won. I mean, that is the time control of my normal videos. Naturally, I've built an audience that craves to see nothing but Will Taylor Chess rapid videos, of course. So this Christmas calendar will consist of a, hopefully, very high quality, in either the objective chess or entertainment at the very least metric, game of chess every single day until Christmas Day. Just a little Christmas present to you guys, of course, and to myself, because December ad revenue is significantly higher than normal. I've been thinking for a while about how I want to do this, because it would be cool to just play 25 rapid games and, you know, see the elo progression over each of the videos. I definitely see the appeal of that, but it also backs me into a corner where then if I just play the most boring game of chess or make like a one-move blunder super early, which kind of undermines the video. Whereas with the Blitz, it's like, okay, well, there's another 2 games in the video. That's the whole video. There's one game here. And so what I'm going to endeavor to do is just provide 25 high-quality games for you guys to lap up and enjoy over the rest of December. Hopefully, we can make some elo progress. I think I'm on 2190 now. But without further ado, let's get into day 1 of the Will Taylor Chess Christmas calendar. We're facing d4 on day 1. Okay, c5, of course. We're going to go for a nice little old Benoni here. And will we get a Benko gambit, beautiful, for day 1 here against Dmitry Engovatov. They probably have some Benko prep, just based on the name. I mean, it's a bit of a generalization, but sounds like a guy that's got some Benko prep. We're going to play a6 here. We're trying to tear open our own A and B files to then basically get some space to play with, where we concede a bit of a space advantage in the center, but you know what? We got some semi-open files on this side of the board. I'm going to try and go for g6, fianchetto this bishop, kingside castle. Complete. Interesting. I was going to say complete this little pawn chain with d6 here. Bishop g5's, I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't understand. I mean, okay, I'm going to start with d6. Of course, I need to castle at some point. Probably castling there would be more accurate. But yeah, look, they're coming in here. I thought so. Okay. Yeah, bringing the bishop out to go queen d2. I mean, if they castle queenside, it's probably going to be a terrible idea, but it's, you know, at least amusing. They might just hit me with like a fat pawn storm here and leave their king in the center. People don't often play like this against the Benko gambit, but fair enough. It seems very aggressive. You're not just kind of castling and accepting the positional game that's going to ensue. If here you go bishop here, I do have to trade my bishop, unless I just give up the rook on f8. That'd be a nice way to start the Christmas calendar, of course. I could also play a little h6, actually, now that I've thought about it, because we delayed castling 1 move. That's partially why I delayed castling 1 move, so that I'd have this h6 resource, because I just forgot about that while marveling at my opponent's audacity, their cojones. I wasn't marveling at their cojones per se, but if I go here, I do provide a target, such that if they just step back when I castle, that's a problem. Maybe I just don't castle. That might not go very well. You know what? I am going for h6. I don't want to allow this immediately. Maybe. I mean, at least if they step back this way, castling's still on the horizon, but I might just take this, I guess. And then we cut this diagonal here such that when you push your e-pawn, I mean, I can take here and render you unable to castle, which seems at least vaguely productive, right? I also could go for some knight move harassing the bishop maybe, but you just go to e3 seemingly. I'm going to go for this. You can't now castle. Yes, this is looking scary. Your king might be weirdly safe here, and actually, how much play do I have on this side of the board? I'm not quite sure, but this is a damn interesting position, and I'm glad we're playing it. Right, kind of want to bring my queen out, maybe access this diagonal somehow, also keep a little pressure on b2, but I don't know if that's actually what I should be prioritizing right now. Can't castle, I mean g5, that doesn't look very pleasant. Okay, I think I'm going queen b6. I like the idea of just basically being able to access this diagonal towards the king. Not that I'd imagine, yeah, I'm really going anywhere. g3 here. Okay, so you're going to chill with your king here. That gives me some confidence, because I don't think they're going to go for a huge pawn storm now. Maybe they were never going to go for that, but, you know, now their king's going to be housed here, so pushing these pawns is also going to entail a weakening of their king. Most likely, at least. I don't see why else you'd play this. Again, here, there's bishop here. I'd love to be able to get a knight to c4, actually. Let's start with knight d7, I guess. Should I? Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, it's got to be reasonable at the very least. And there's some context where I just castle and hang the pawn. Is there? I don't know. I don't know about that. I could go knight here to hold this, but you just play h3, and I don't see that really bearing any fruit. Maybe even rook b8 makes sense. Could castle queenside and just ruin the entire video immediately. That is possible, of course. Okay, yeah, I'm not going this way. I'd like to be able to do this, maybe. Maybe my queen's not well placed here. Queen a6 could make some sense. You do just walk into here. I'm kind of gift wrapping you access to that. Like I'm telling you to do precisely what you want to do, I guess. But I also vacate the way to get into here, and I'm thinking if I can get this dark squared bishop, maybe here, and then with my knight's already on b6, we go in like this. That could make some serious sense. If here, and you play b3, now softening this up. Do I have a move there? Knight here, possibly. Bishop e3. I mean, yeah, I don't know, maybe not. I think I'll start with knight b6 anyway. I don't think I'm going anywhere this way, necessarily. I'm definitely slightly scared of e5 at some point, but I really think you need to stop this idea of me going knight h5, the bishop moves, and then here, yeah, so they do go for b3, fine, but we are inducing them, you know, pushing this pawn. I don't mind that. I could come back and then do this and this. I didn't even think about that. That wouldn't be completely ridiculous at all. Knight here, you push this. Yeah, that's not really happening for me, I don't think. Okay, well, I really am going nowhere. Maybe I should have seen b3 and thought, well, I mean, I did see b3, but then actually deep the fact that, where am I now going with that knight? c4 is not completely stupid, I guess. Not really a big fan of it for some reason. Not being able to castle is giving me a bit of a headache. Hold on, I could also go g5 and knight g4 with this bishop here. Hello. g5, if you sack, you sack, right? Here, takes, maybe I can castle, I don't know, rook g8. I don't think you can sack. I think I'm going g5. I like the idea of forcing the bishop here, and then the bishop's got no moves, and I can go knight g4 to get rid of that piece. Because I think fundamentally, if I can get an unrivaled dark squared bishop, that has to be, it simply has to be doing something good for my position. I also could go like this, here and this, but giving up the 2 minor pieces for the rook and pawn probably makes no sense. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. I mean, it's a freaky game we're playing today, but I guess that's all you can possibly want from day one of the Will Taylor Chess. The WTCCC, C cubed. I know there's a C squared podcast. I think that's Fabiana Caruana's podcast, right? Well, how about I raise that to the 3rd power, C cubed. We're getting rid of this, no doubt. I just want rid of that bishop. And maybe castling an f5? I don't know. This is a pass pawn, but I think I'm kind of blockading effectively enough. Obviously, you take with the queen. This still seems a little soft. This now seems even softer, actually. It's a bit of a backwards pawn. You'd maybe root in with the knight. You need to be slightly careful because I've extended all sorts of nonsense over here. You might also play knight b5, and that could cause me the biggest headache ever. So here, you do this, maybe. Could start with this, but you bounce off here. Very possibly. And then bishop here. Okay. And you're going to get into f5 at some point. Yeah, I hate that. Okay, maybe this is not stupid, because if here, I'm a big fan of that. The queen, bring the knight in, maybe via here. If you push past, though, I do need to move. I'm getting rather low on time. This is not ideal, and I'm scared of this. So, honestly, castling might make sense, but then I just commit myself to over here, to being over here, rather. Whatever. We're castling. I might play for f5. If this, I can go here, and you don't have h4, is my vague idea. So, h4, g4... I mean, I might be causing irreparable damage to my king side, but at least got a dark square bishop, right, guys? They unpin, fine. Probably trying to go in here now. Do I go for this? You go in here. I might take this. I really like this break. I mean, I'm probably causing myself major issues with the hole on e6, but that's to worry about later. f5 pawn break. Let's get the rook moving. Let's get something interesting going towards this king, because otherwise, if I play the game on this side of the board, I'm just going to be kind of dodging forks and stuff. I don't see much activity to find there. I feel like this... I mean, what did I say? I'm causing myself a massive problem with the hole here. Okay. I don't know why. I mean, I do have rook f7 there. Might not actually be the end of the world, and then bring the other rook over. Although, am I just losing this pawn? Is that the problem? And then everything's collapsing. Possibly. Okay, this could all be going very wrong. Here, you take this. Then, I don't know, I feel like the pressure on the open f file. You know what? We're doing it. We're doing it. Hit me with the check, I go here, then this is held, and we are fine. We are Bing chilling, as I believe John Cena said, or anyone that speaks Mandarin, I guess. And, you know, talking about ice cream, I think. Bing chilling, I think that's ice cream. We're going to come across here, I think. Yeah, I mean, how can that be a bad move? Let's stack on the f-file. Maybe I should have brought my queen in. That could have been interesting as well, but maybe to give this check. I don't think you can get away with taking this and just hanging your knight. You can give a check, but king h8, and I'm weirdly safe there. I don't know, your knight's actually quite held out right now. It's not clear where that knight can actually go, and it's pinned to this threat on here. So maybe just the absolute firepower, the sacrificing of the couple pawns there, the purely intentional sacrificing of a couple pawns to stack these rooks to get a nice open aggressive attack. By the way, I might post this if I've lost the game, of course. It's not just going to be straight wins. I want to have some suspense to the We'll Take the Chess Christmas calendar of 2025. So there will be some L's. And I mean, that might be some foreshadowing right now to let you know that I'm about to terribly lose this game. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling, frankly, fantastic. There's maybe even an idea to go takes, and knight hit. Is there? Possibly. There might still be a check. I need to... Yeah, this check is a problem. But if I get to h8, you don't have a dark squared bishop, and that gives me a lot of confidence. What do you do about this? Genuine question. Because here, like, sure. But it seems like a bit of a vacuous intermezzo. How about that for some serious use of the English and, I guess, Italian language? You know, a vacuous intermezzo. That might be the name of the episode. That's how I like to title the Patreon episodes. By the way, if you're vaguely interested, check out the Patreon. There will still be, obviously, you're going to be getting your fill of content this month, and so you might not be craving the extra content, but there are 40 bonus videos that you've never before seen over on the Patreon. Hold on, I've got 2 minutes. Let's stop plugging the Patreon. I'm taking this. Oh, you have this. Damn it. There's always queen e6. Maybe not such a vacuous idea anyway. Damn it. Right. Check here. Here. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I mean, check. I don't see that actually bearing any fruit, to be completely honest with you. Maybe I start with this. That could be kind of amusing, actually. Or maybe I just go h5. How stupid's that? h5, if you go g4, then... Oh my god, do I have that? No way. h5, I hang this, pay attention, but then I go check. You can't block, you have to come here. h5. Where are you going? You take this, check, you don't have this anymore, so you can't block here clearly. You'd have to move the king, and then at the very least I get bishop f6 and I win the queen. So this does not work. This check is outrageous. I'm threatening this to force this and then go bishop f6 at the very least. I mean, maybe there are mating ideas, but right now I'm happy with winning a queen at the very least. And if you go for g4 here, your knight's holding the possible checks that I have, but that's exactly the problem. Your knight is holding both. There is one knight holding both of those possible checks, and it's an overworked piece. So I think if here we sacrifice the queen on d3, knight takes, and then rook f3 is checkmate. We deflect the knight there. That's disgusting. So you can't push this pawn. You do take here, but now I go queen. You can push the pawn. No, I don't have the queen sack. No! Now I'm not holding this. Oh my god, I hate this game. Okay, here. No, please. Please just make this work. Here. Then what? Oh, I just need to move. Okay, sure. And here. Check, here. Okay, interesting. The annoying thing is I'm definitely very winning. I just don't believe I have the time to convert. And unfortunately, I completely missed that they had g4 there, and I bet you any money I had a forced mate. I hate this game. Okay, I just clearly don't want the queen trade, so not immediately allowing the queen trade. Do have this as a check, but does it actually do anything? I don't really know. Possibly not. Am I going to try and clutch a draw here? Is that the mission? Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. You cannot fathom the disappointment that I'm currently feeling. This would have been one of the most disgusting ways that we could have possibly started the We'll Take the Chess Christmas calendar. I've got to be true to my word. I just sat there for like 5 minutes debating whether or not to go again with episode 1. Like, this is starting on an L seems it just seems wrong. It just feels so wrong to me. But also, the only thing that was wrong with that game, because, you know, this is roughly even, never more than like a 1.3 advantage for white. Get myself a serious advantage, play around with it, get to a point where I'm mating. and don't find the final tactic, the knockout blow. I just failed to deliver the knockout blow and then flagged. And that is truly heartbreaking, but I've also got to stay true to my word. I said, listen, if it's entertaining enough and if the game is high quality enough, if it's a loss, I'm not going to let my ego get in the way of some good content. The knockout blow at this moment was either rook, but checking on f3. Now I thought, I can't do that, the knight just takes. But the queen's pinned. So sack a rook, because then if the king goes this way, you take the queen for free, and if the king comes down, there is an unbelievably nice, like, repeating pattern that happens here, where we've got the check with the queen pinned. The king comes down, we give a check, the queen steps down, and we give the same check with the queen pinned. Again, if you go up, we take the queen here, so you step down, we then give the same check, well, not the same check, but, you know, an analogous check here, the queen blocks. We then give the same situation here, and you can't come down. You're now forced to go up. We take the queen, you move, checkmate. I don't blame myself really for not seeing all of that. I could have followed my nose low on time and at least thrown in the check. And if I'd done this, then of course I would have realized, you know, if here I should be doing well here, probably I would have just kept following my nose with checks. And honestly, it was doable. That's why this is so heartbreaking, because I know I could have done that. But unfortunately, I went for rook f5. It's zeros here objectively. I go for a check, I go for takes, I go here. And then obviously, there's going to be some draw by repetition. I can keep the king in a mating net, presumably. Okay, yeah, rook h6 apparently is a better move. But you see by the graph here that, yeah, okay, I have 1.3 seconds left. If you chop off the bit after me having 2 seconds left, I just blundered it back to a draw. And then, of course, gave up a couple pieces and flagged. If only I hadn't plugged the Patreon halfway through. That is tough, but it was too beautiful of an idea not to showcase the fact that in this position, after takes, again, it's the same pattern. It's here, and we're given the check, and if you go back up, we take the queen, so you got to come down, and then later, again, okay, they could go down with the king again, but at that point, we could probably start, like, laddering towards here, right? Does this actually work? Oh my lord, yeah, this is the line. Wait, what? This is crazy. Do we then go queen f6? And then we go here, then we go here, and 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 then here, and then here, and then... Yeah, just a disgusting pattern. Obviously not one which I was going to see with very low time, but I do need to learn the lesson of follow your nose with those checks. I was going to flag anyway. You might as well go out guns a-blazing, and I could have done it. The Benko was... this was an interesting approach, little inaccurate, not very often played. You know, black seems to have great win rates here in the lead chess database, 57%, etc. H6, logical. Again, looking at the graph, I'd played this very, very well up until a certain point here where I'd garnered some kind of decent advantage here, and then I should have gone for g5 earlier, and eventually went for g5, got rid of that bishop. It preferred the f5 break sooner, fair enough. I guess the bishop was still trapped, so this wasn't ideal. Castled, correct, by the way, castling and then playing f5, then taking here, then stacking the rooks, then taking here. Like, this was actually a legitimately excellent attack. I played this game very well. I'm proud of it, unfortunately. I mean, it would have been, had I found that sequence, this would have been one of my best games. And I can't let not finding that sequence and flagging be the difference between me posting this or not. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. You know, your guys' viewership is immensely valuable to me, so I want to make sure you are getting nothing but the highest quality videos. I'm so sad. Oh, man, this is such a nice idea. And it's not stupid, you know, I'm not that mad at myself for missing this, but also you could have flipping done it, damn it! But instead, I throw away both rooks with the second left and flag. The Will Taylor Chess Christmas Calendar 2025 starts with an L, but you know what else starts with an L? Legendary comeback. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.